If your Amazon product is under 4 stars, then you're losing sales every single day. And the fix, it's simpler than you think. I'm going to break down this 3.8 star electric fly swatter the way a QA engineer does and show you the exact patterns hiding in the reviews that tell you whether to fix the product or scrap it. And if you want this done for your product, drop your ASIN number in the comments below and I'll pick it up for the next video. All right, let's jump straight into the reviews. We're going to filter just by 1 star reviews and by most recent. So this first review, we're just going to go through it. It's called Bad Product. They mention it doesn't work at all. They bought the batteries and it still does not work. So this can be a couple things. First thing I'm going to recommend is to do a root cause analysis on why it doesn't work. Because if you're selling a product that doesn't work in the first place, they bought fresh batteries, they're putting them in, and it's not working. What is the reason? Is there a soldered connection that's not done correctly? Is the customer misusing the product too? Because, and I really want to emphasize the quickness on finding the root cause of this too, because the solution to this is the only way that it's actually going to bump up your current review and then make you a higher conversion and a higher selling rate. So between those two things, let's say one, it's a customer issue. Get on your call centers, whoever's answering the phones for customer reviews, make sure they know how to correct the issue. Hey, are the batteries in wrong? Do you have to shake the product a bit or something? There's a button on the zapper. Do you have to hold that down for 3 seconds and the customer's just not understanding that? Whatever the issue is, let them know and encourage them to do run back their review, because if they can look at it again and change that 1 star to a 3 or a 4 star because they're going to have a positive experience, it'll help your reviews a bunch in that sense too, especially if you only have a few of these, and it'll help prevent you from having that star drop down so much. So now if it's on the other side and it's actually a product quality issue, and maybe it is a electric wire that's disconnected or isn't in properly, make sure that's fixed on production and you send them a new product. If you send them the new product, they'll be a lot more pleased with it, and again, they can come back and look at that review again, so then they can reassess it, they can put it as a higher rating, and it'll help you grow your sales because it'll help build that stronger customer sense and people will want to buy your product more. So this next review outlines a fatal oversight that could have been prevented with an at-home test. A at-home test that could have taken 10 seconds. So this review is called Trash. Don't buy it, save your money. Trash arrived broken, didn't even get to use it. And this one had a photo too. So I'll blow up the photo so you could see it a bit more. And this is obviously a break in the product. And this is a fracture right at that piece. I'm going to let you know, I've looked at a lot of these reviews. All these reviews, if they throw in photos saying that it's broken, it's at this exact point. So how is it being broken here? How can you fix that too? And this could have all been prevented when you get your product and you have it in hand. The vendor sends you a sample. You could do this easily, test this, dropping it 4 feet on the ground. Do that right as is. Drop it 4 feet on the ground. If it survives, then great. But if you had this sample, it's gonna break at that point too. Use tests like that, at-home tests, creative at-home tests that you don't need to go to a huge third-party lab for. Buy a couple of zappers too. Drop them all at 4 feet. Make sure that they can all survive, and maybe it's just yours that fails. This could also be, and I'm not really supposed to get into the third review, but I'm gonna show it real quick, and I'm gonna highlight the fact that this review actually called out and mentioned that it arrived, but the package wasn't damaged. So the key insight here is that it could have arrived damaged, but it also could have not. So let's assume that it arrived damaged, and it arrived damaged in transit, right? So let's say it was broken in transit, and the box itself that it was trapped or it was traveling in was dropped at some point, maybe in Amazon's warehouse, wherever it may be. It was dropped at some point, but you know these cardboard boxes, you drop that 4 feet, there's a good chance the package doesn't actually get damaged, but it transfers enough energy into your fly swatter that it breaks it at that point. So you want to make sure your product can still survive that jump and that drop. Now, there's also another thing that could have happened to both of these items because they both mentioned that they arrived broken. This is something I have seen hundreds of times in my career as a QA engineer, is that these products were put in the box like this. And this isn't any kind of fault on the factory or the people who are putting it in, because they don't exactly understand either the product or the culture in it. So there's a good chance that whatever country this was made in, is that they're not 100% aware of how this product is used, what it even is, because they might not use this in an everyday sense. So they might understand that, oh, I think this actually is supposed to be in two parts. So then you have a whole bunch of boxes that are affected by having those two in. And it's a super quick solution. And there are multiple ways you can go at a solution for this too. The first one, the main one, is an inspection. So you want to have an inspection at the end of the line that says these two parts are connected. You want to make sure whoever's inspecting it understands what the problem is and what the issue would have been with this product. There's also another solution too, where if you have a quality control team in your factory, have them pull the first sample from the line, have them pull the last sample, have them pull the first five, the last five, whatever it may be, have them pull it into their labs, and they do their drop tests. They wave it in the air too, because multiple reviews have mentioned that they're taking this fly swatter, using it in the air like that, and then it has that same broken area too. So again, I'll show you the photo on this one. This area is also broken in the same spot too. So what's causing that issue? Why is it shearing there? And how can you prevent that in the future too? This is the same thing where you could do the root cause. Why is it breaking here? What is having that issue? And these three reviews tell the story of a product that doesn't have that many issues. It's just broken in one spot, has maybe an electrical connection, or somebody's misusing the battery or the button on it, so they don't understand that you need to hold it to get it to start. Whatever it may be, there are only a couple of issues with this product, but because there are so many one-star reviews, it's tanking the item. So my recommendation is to redesign the product. Redesign it, make sure it doesn't have this crack here, make sure it's a constant electrical connection, make sure the customers aren't having an issue when they're trying to use it for the first time, and it'll solve so many of these one-star reviews. And then you will position your brand in a place that says you're in a high 4 stars, which is an average for this product, and you'll be able to compete with the rest of the items in this assortment by having that higher star review. Because right now the rest of this area is in that, they're all in 4 stars. This is the one of the only ones in the 3-star area. And if you see all these with 4, and then you see that one 3, whether it's 3.2 or 3.8, the customer sees that 3, they're not going to want to buy this product. So my recommendation again, do a rework. Make sure you figure out what the issue is. As soon as you're done with that, pull this product out. Get this product off your online, and then put the new one on. Get a couple Vine reviews in. There are a couple Vine 1-star reviews in here too. So people right off the bat were having an issue with this, and this should be something that has been seen really quickly, especially if you got it from just those Vine reviewers. But pull that product and then do the rework. So then they'll actually be able to have a positive customer experience. And make sure to subscribe to the channel so next week's video you can see it. I'm going to be doing something similar, and drop your product below in the comments with the ASIN number. Again, if it's below 4 stars, I'll review it and you can see it in the next video. You could also click here and see the last week's video where we broke down a vegetable chopper that had 2.8 stars.